Hello, friends. Today we're gonna make me. We're gonna make a cutout bee. But first we're gonna learn some printmaking. And that is so neat. So have fun, and I'll see you at the end. Buzz.
Good morning and welcome to Owl School Story Time. Today we're reading the story Bee by Britta Teckentrup. Dawn is breaking on a brand new day, and in the meadow poppies sway. A bee appears, striped black and gold. A wonder of nature is about to unfold. In the treetops, birds start to sing. The little bee beats her wings. As she travels here and there, a gentle humming fills the air. Back and forth, to and fro, Bee knows exactly where to go. Visiting flowers of every hue, she has a special job to do. Gathering nectar as she goes, from every foxglove, every rose. Dusty with pollen, the little bee buzzes, buzzes busily. Bee travels on from bloom to bloom, drawn in by their sweet perfume. Harvesting flowers one by one, her compass is the midday sun. Among the orchard's apple trees, blossoms quiver in the breeze. Carrying pollen from place to place, Bee always leaves a tiny trace. Flowers as far as the eye can see. Too many flowers for just one bee. All of a sudden, Bee is gone. She has a message to pass on. Back at the hive, Bee spreads the news. There's work to be done, no time to lose. Listen for their gentle humming. The word is out, the bees are coming. Buzzing over the dense hedgerows, past the pond where wild thyme grows, through the orchard's sweet-smelling scent, the bees travel on with calm intent. As lilies glow orange in the sun, the bees must finish what they've begun, stopping at every flower they find, leaving the gift of pollen behind. The bees pass over a woodland stream. Droplets sparkle and pebbles gleam. Water trickles, bubbles and weaves. A weeping willow trails its leaves. As the bees fly on through buds and burrs, a tiny miracle occurs. So many plants and flowers you see were given life by one small bee. The end. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Now that you have all of your supplies together, I'll review them again. Paper, colored and white, markers, scissors, your little foam plate that I gave you in your art kit, and glue. So get your foam plate out in front of you, and you need a pencil or a pen that has a fairly sharp edge, a sharp end to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to start our printmaking technique, and we're going to press down on your foam square. We're going to make one big flower. So start in the middle. It can be horizontal or vertical, it doesn't matter. And you want to make a fairly big flower, so make a big circle in the middle, pressing fairly hard with your pencil or your pen. And we have a circle right in the middle. Now we're going to work on flower petals. You can do petals however you want. I just like to make what kind of looks like curved letter V's. So there's my one side of a V, and then my other. You can kind of see it's a V, but I'm curving it towards my circle. Now if you have a different way to make flower petals, please do so. There are different lines and shapes you can make, anything you want. But I want you to concentrate on filling up your space on your foam plate, because we want this to be one big flower. You can see my petals are pretty equal in size. I'm doing the best I can. Some are a little smaller, but that's okay. I'm going to put one right here, right in the middle. I'm going to go off my page, and that's perfectly fine too. If you need to go off your page, go ahead. And I'm going to put some dots in the middle and add some texture lines. The more detail lines you make on this foam plate, the more detail will show up on your paper. So I'm going to press pretty hard and make some dots in my center of my flower, and then I'm going to make some lines going down on my petal. And again, you can see me pressing pretty firmly. There we go, just like that. And in your art kit, I also gave you 2 colors of markers. If you have more markers at home, you can use whatever you want, but it has to be a marker. So go ahead and get those in front of you, and go ahead and take off the caps of both of them. And what you want to do is you want to press firmly on that as well, and go kind of quickly. We don't want that marker to dry. So make a thick layer wherever you want that color to show up. So I'm going to do purple tips and a purple middle, but you can see I'm going pretty fast and I'm making it pretty thick lines. Okay, then I'm going to quickly add my second color. If you have more colors, you can add more, but remember, we need to go fast because we don't want it to dry. Just like that. Okay, then we're going to grab our white piece of paper, and we're going to flip this foam flower plate over, and we're going to press it, rub it, and we're going to lift it up, and you will have a print of the flower you just made. Just like that. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Okay, so let's do it again, and we're going to do the same steps. I'm going to go quickly over. And if you overlap your printing, that is perfectly fine. In fact, the more you overlap, the fuller it will show up on your paper. So I'm going quickly again using the same colors. If you overlap the colors, it sometimes becomes like a blackish dull. Try to stick with the same colors on this. There we go. And I'm going to do a couple more on here, overlapping some. So go ahead and do this technique. Go quickly with your colors and then come back. That's so much fun. I love printmaking. Okay, put that to the side and we're gonna let that dry for a little bit and get your construction paper, colored paper out that I gave you from your kit. You may have scraps left. I don't care what color you use, but we're gonna fold it in half. And what I want you to do is I want you to cut that in half, and you can save it for later for some more projects that we'll do in the future. This doesn't take very much colored paper. So cut that in half and then fold it again and cut it in half again. You can see I'm cutting it on the fold. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just wanting 2 pieces of colored paper. Okay, so let's start with 1 piece of our paper that we cut. And in the middle, we're going to draw a large oval. This is going to be our bee body, a large oval in that piece of paper. And then on the top corner of your paper, let's draw an eyeball. Make a little tiny texture mark right there and color that in. And if you don't have a black marker, use any color marker you have. It's kind of fun to see all different colors of bees. Draw 2 vertical lines next to each other inside the body and fill it in to create 1 thick, bold stripe. Now again, if you don't have black, color it in with the colors you have. Now we're going to add 2 more stripes to our bee's body. I'm going to put one here. I'll make this one a little bit thicker. Color that in, and then I'm going to have 1 more towards the end. Did you know that bees are a big part of our ecosystem? They travel from flower plant to flower plant, and they pollinate them. It is estimated that 1/3 of our food that humans eat depend on the pollination of bees. I didn't know that. Bees also produce honey, which have been a source for humans for 15,000 years. That's crazy. Okay, now that I have that done, go ahead and cut around your bee. I'm going to tell you a couple more facts. In recent years, the populations of bees have declined due to the loss of their habitat, climate change, pesticides that come in, and diseases. And this is really concerning to humans and animals that depend on these wonderful bees. Pretty fun little facts there. Okay, so I've got my cute little bee. Put him to the side and grab your other piece of paper. Fold that piece of paper in half. So the fold is now on the bottom. But what you want to do now is flip it over. We want our fold on top. And we're going to make a wing shape. So pretend you're making a U, an upside down letter U. And it kind of goes in. So if I flip this over, it looks like a U. But make sure you're doing the fold you're not doing your U on the fold. So let's cut that, and then that's going to make 2 wings for our bee. There we go. So now if you see, they've got 2 wings that are the same, just like that. Okay, now grab your glue. I know some of you may not have any glue, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. If you need to draw a wing or leave them off, go right ahead. But if you do have glue at home, glue the bottom only of your wing and stick that on the back of your bee, just like that. Don't glue the whole thing, just the bottom. And do the same thing to the other side. But this time when you glue it to the back, let's put a little let's cross it a little bit. Just like that. There we go. So if you look upside down, it kind of looks like a W. There we go. Now get your printed paper that you have. It should be dry by now. And we're gonna glue the back of our bee. We're not gonna glue the wings. We're gonna glue the back of the bee only. We want this bee to have kind of like a 3D effect, which is like it's popping out of your page. And this is one of our elements called form. And this is more of a 3D effect. So plop that bee wherever you want. And now to make it look kind of 3D, bend those wings forward a little bit. Now it kind of looks like it's flying out of the page. Woo, good job. That was a big assignment. And I know you guys did fabulous. Such a pretty picture. And as always, you know the last thing to do, and that is to sign it. I hope you had as much fun as I did today. That's a lot of work, and I'm proud of each and every one of you.
Did you like that project? I know I sure did. Okay, send them my way so I can see